Hi viewers, welcome to MoneyMantanTV. Today we are with CA.K.HANMANDLOO sir. Today is National Chartered Accountants Day. So, sir, happy National Chartered Accountants Day, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, sir, what is this? From when they are celebrating this National Chartered Accountants Day, sir?
See, after independence in 1947, India wanted to have a regulator to look after the accounting profession, finance profession. As a regulator, they wanted to establish an institute to regulate the entire profession of accounts, auditing, reporting, financial statements, and all these things. So they passed an act in the parliament, and that they approved, that came into effect from 1st July 1949.
Okay.
Means nearly after 2 years from the independence. So this is the day on which CA Act came into operation in all over India.
Okay.
It started with 300 new members, 300 members, founding members, and those they were not carried on any examination, and those who are having the skills, knowledge, and reputed people, and those who are having members of England Institute also became founding members of this institute as on 1st July 1949.
Okay.
Accidentally, this happens to be Doctors' Day also 1st July, and GST Day also. And doctors are health doctors, and CA professionals are wealth doctors. So the combination of two people, and GST also came into effect in 2017 from the same 1st day of July 2017 onwards. So this 1st July is having significance, as well as now we are having around 4 lakhs CA members, in fact, members.
Okay.
Those are qualified, and out of that nearly 2.5 lakhs are undertaking employment in companies or another thing, and nearly 1.5 lakh are carrying a profession as a chartered accountants.
Sir, what are the biggest challenges all the chartered accountants are facing, sir?
See, what is happening is the regulator, since our institute is a regulator, it regulates not only the syllabus, examination, as well as it regulates the members' professional qualities, means professional ethics also. See, if any member has violated any norms or rules and regulations prescribed by the government, are careless in reporting or accounting, or professional negligence, any other thing, the institute that will be brought to the notice of the institute will take action against the member. So here, what is the real problem is the appointers are the taxpayers, maybe individuals, companies, partnership firms, industries, or anything, and we have to report to the government on the activities of the appointers.
Okay.
Those who appoint us. It is a real challenge. See, if the government appoint us to verify the transactions of one company or firm or anything, it will be easy for us and we will report them. But the person who is appointing, we have to report on the activities of that person to the government.
Yeah.
So there will be a contradictory. Always client expect that since we are appointing you, you should be in our favor. And the government expects that since you are the member of our institute, regulator, you have to comply with all the guidelines prescribed by the various acts. And institute says that since you are a member of the institute, you should obey the code of conduct and standards prescribed by the institute.
Okay. Sir, in the past, there was a papers and all when you have studied.
Yes, yes.
So now the technology has changes. Sir, how is the work burden, sir?
See, what is happening earlier, we had to work hard. Means we have to prepare and tally, means physically verify the transactions, so total it, cross check it, multiply it, division, everything was there. Now everything is looked after the system.
Okay.
So that work is reduced. Now our profession shifted from hard work to smart work. Unless we know the technology or information technology or digital infrastructure or digital instruments available, how it is employed, it will be very difficult to do the profession successfully.
Okay.
So even every member, even who has completed CA 50 years back also, has to be updated with technology as well as professional.
Okay.
Professional quality is required, expected by the government as well as the institute.
Okay.
So this makes somewhat transmission stage.
Okay.
Earlier we used to do physically, and we used calculator, and later came to computers. Now later came to software packages, and now it is artificial intelligence is coming. So all this, of course, is giving facility to the to members to carry on the profession perfectly. But what is happening is everything. This is only acting as a body, but mind is required to analyze the things. That is important. That mind requires for presentation of statements, reporting on that, and computation of tax liability or any other compliance also we have to report. This is giving, means every day, as soon as the digital infrastructure is giving facility and expectations on the professions also increasing. See, generally what happens if anything, any scam or any fraud happen, general expectation is government will say who was the auditor. And capital market SEBI say who was the auditor. Reserve Bank says who was the auditor. And general people also say who was the auditor. But auditor is not the part of the organization.
Yes.
It is our profession. Auditors called as, he is a watchdog but not a bloodhound. We can say that we can give the report on the finance statement prepared by the company or organization or anyone. And it doesn't mean that we have prepared it. And it doesn't mean that we have made them to prepare in such a way to reduce their liability or reduce their compliance or avoid their any taxes or anything like that. See, all the statements are prepared by the taxpayers, and based on the information, finance statement prepared and information available with the provided to the auditor by the taxpayers. Auditor will give opinion how far it is correct, how far it is reliable. And then comes the question. See, it is nothing but post-mortem. It is nothing but post-mortem. After transactions complete, after books are prepared, statements are prepared, auditor role comes into existence. Of course, auditor appointed early only. Before completion step, auditor will appointed. But his role is restricted to reporting on the finance statements.
Okay.
So when finance statement comes only in the month of July, August, September. But we cannot expect that from previous April to March, he can know in advance. It is very difficult. And even banks also expecting that CSR. Because of this reason, many professionals are becoming scapegoats.
Okay.
Under pressure from clients, or pressure from regulators, or pressure from institute, and they're unable to carry on the profession comfortably.
Okay.
Recently we have seen one young professionals also committing suicide. But the reason, they were under work pressure. Well, see, when you are an employee, you have to obey, you have to follow the instructions, and you have to work according to the expectations of the employer. If you are carrying a profession, it's your liberty. You can accept it, you may not accept it. But at the time of appointment, you don't know what the work is going to be done and how the information will come, how it is reliable. But when after the information come and verification, he need not come out. He cannot come out. He cannot say that I don't give the report. It is impossible. This is a challenge faced by every professional.
So is this technology helping the chartered accountants very soon, sir? I mean,
really it is helping us. I told you, really it is helping us. It reduces from hard work to smart work.
okay.
And more time consumption to less time consumption. But analysis, human part of analysis, presentation, all this is required in expert level. We cannot, earlier we used to devote the work to some staff or sub-staff to verify the transactions, to verify the totalings or multiplication, all these things like that, books of the vouchers and all. No, it is not required. Now everything is prepared by system itself, every evidence is available. The only thing is whether expenditure is shown as asset or asset is shown as expenditure, or any expenditure is capitalized, or whether due profit is correctly reported, or assets are existing, liabilities are same, or any excess liability is there, any capital is shown as liability, or any liability shown as capital. These are the things we have to verify. Unless we know the subject very perfectly, we cannot analyze these things. Unless we know the transactions, depending upon the nature of the business conducted by the taxpayer, it is very difficult to analyze that. So it requires a lot of expertness, and that comes only from practice. It is not from the subject knowledge or qualification. It comes practice, and every person, every professional has to work hard to know many things, depending upon the client's nature of business, time given, information given, quality of information given, because the expectations on the profession is very high. SEBI, government, tax authorities, institute, any bank financial institutions, everybody is relying on the chartered accountant.
Sir, for upcoming CAs,
Yes.
what are the main skills they should have?
See, by present, the students are lucky to have all these technological information, technological infrastructure available at their disposal. They should have technical knowledge first, subject knowledge, and how to handle the work. This requires planning, punctuality, perfection, performance. So this is presentation. So this requires for every professional. Of course, what I say is don't be tension, don't be with tension. Only pay attention. Don't expect the client. Don't assure the client. Don't assure the taxpayer, which you cannot do that. Which you are not permitted to accept it. Don't expect that. Don't do that. Though he is appointing you, you cannot go again. You cannot go against the professional guidelines or regulations issued by the government or institute like that. So the appointment may be the person, the taxpayer, but who is verifying your activities? Other persons. So you have to go against the person if he is not doing correctly, or if he is repeating false statements, or if preparing false statements. You are going against the appointer in favor of the society. So this is the real challenge, and of course, luckily, because of advanced technology available, there is no there is no discrepancies in evidence, payments, recipient, nature of transactions. Now, there is no dispute. The only presentation, whether true profit is reported, or whether true assets are declared, or whether any assets are excess shown, or more profit shown than this. This is the requires a lot of concept that only smart work can do better. For this, that advanced technology available at present will help the professionals.
Sir, what is the role of CA? Evolved overall around the overall 1 year.
See, what is happening is the role of CA starts from the end of the client's work. Means client means only taxpayer, anyone who is using the services for taxpayer, or using the professional, when he ends, means he prepares the statements and presents to the auditor, then the auditor work starts. You cannot expect the auditor to do before presentation of statements as a preventive measure. I told you the auditing is post-mortem. Means after completion of statements, after completed transactions, finance statements, only then auditor role starts. So every of course everybody may be expecting that preventive, but it is not in the hands of auditor. It is in the hands of management. Auditor only starts his work only after finalization of statements. So this is a change. So how we can provide is by providing the reliable information to the investors, maybe through civic capital market, financial institutions as a security for lending, or international transactions for valuation, global valuation. Also for regulators, whether they have collected true tax or not, any compliance is required, and also institute, whether institute guidelines are followed or whether institute guidelines are deviated. All this is possible to do. These are the things available, and this is the challenges also to every professional.
Sir, what are the common myths overall the profession of CA, sir?
Common myths say like this: every person. I told you, if anything wrong has happened, they will first see who is the auditor. He will not see who is the financial officer, who will not see who is the manager, who is the finance director. He will see who is the auditor. See, this is the wrong concept. See, the prevention is better than cure, I agree. Prevention is better than cure. But the person who is authorizing, who is paying, who is verifying, who is checking, are not in the hands of auditor. So how can you expect the auditor to all these then? everything comes only after completion of the transaction preparation statements. So this is the myth expected by society, regulators, government, financial institution, capital market, and the auditor. It is nothing but over expecting something on which he doesn't have control at all. See, this is the myth. This is the myth. So one should know who is responsible for this. It is not the auditor responsible. The management is responsible. Finance manager is responsible. Treasury is finance director is responsible.
Yes.
Those people are held responsible, not the auditor.
Sir, why these CAs are not into the social media platforms, sir? And
See, many people see social media. There are restrictions prescribed by the CA Institute that you cannot practice, you cannot propagate your profession.
okay.
Means you cannot say that I have succeeded this client in this case. I cannot say that I have made they are my clients. I am going to doing good service to them. So I am in profession for last so many years. Like you cannot say that.
Okay.
And you cannot propagate individual success or individual performance. You can say about the latest tax regulations, latest tax amendments, latest regulations issued by the institute, latest acts passed by the government, latest circulars issued by the other Reserve Bank of India.
Yes.
Common issues we can address, common issues we present, but not the individual issues, or not individual success, or not individual information, or not individual reporting. You are not allowed to speak like that. So this is social media you can use for only common purpose, common people, common professions, not for individual to upgrade your profession, to propagate your profession is not permitted.
For the upcoming CAs and all, so what are the main?
See, for upcoming those who are joining in the profession, wish them all the best to become a successful chartered accountant. But the real challenge comes after qualifying. How to face the client, how to get the client, how to win the confidence of the financial institution, how to win the confidence of SEBI, means capital market regulator, how to win the confidence of tax authorities, how to win the confidence of all these things, how to win the confidence. That is possible only with planning, perfection, performance, presentation. That is required. It means you should not compromise. Though he is appointing you, you should not compromise. You should not compromise in quality of your service on behalf of that taxpayer, with regarding the rules prescribed by the government, regulator, anyone. So we are going against the wind. So you have to know every day that you are going against the wind, and you should be able to convince the taxpayer that this is not permitted for me. I cannot do that. I don't accept this. I don't accept this. You can plan the tax. You can reduce the tax by planning, but you cannot reduce the tax by evasion. Planning is permitted. Evasion is not permitted. Fraud is not permitted. Misrepresentation is not permitted. So all these things we have to see as the auditor, whether they are committing fraud or whether they are committing misrepresentation, whether they are showing more profits to go into capital market. And all these are challenges. So upcoming practitioners should know all these things in advance and to have knowledge about that. For this purpose, they are asked to undergo a training under a chartered accountant for 3 years. Earlier it was 3 years, now it reduced to 2 years. And they have to pass examinations before joining 2 years practical training. All this is possible. But every day, see, there is a challenge in every day for every profession. When you can say no, it will give 100 solutions.
Okay.
Generally, people will feel, if I don't do that, others will do that. I am losing the client confidence. I am losing the client or something like that. They will feel. But when you are compromised, when you are strict, and when you are committed to the perfection, only the perfect people only will come. Nearly there are 80% of perfect people. There are 80% law-abiding people. 20% only law-evading and irregular people.
Okay.
Generally, 80% people are tax-abiding, everything law-abiding people. They are comply with all regulations and rules and regulations, and advice issued by the concerned professionals. But 20% people will be there. They want the favor. It is very difficult to convince them. I think you may feel that one professional may feel that if I reject him, he may go to others or he may get the what we say, bad name in the society, bad name in the profession like that. See, once you are branded like this, you are perfect. Only perfect will come. That 80% market is available to you. 80% people can come to you. Okay, 20% may go. Even other person also who has gone to others also, they also do the same thing. They will become the scapegoat. See, nowadays it is very difficult to avoid. What is happening now? Nowadays everything is matchable, everything is digitally comparable. So you cannot avoid this tax now.
So
Relation is
in the recent magazine I saw somewhere, there's a YouTuber got 2 crores of
Yes.
tax. Is it true, sir?
See, what is happening is there are two reasons. One is what is happening is these people, some people, they are giving their PAN number wherever they want.
Okay.
Suppose they are giving PAN number for railway booking, flight booking, anything, somewhere we may give that. And the person who is receiving that, they may forward it to some other person and he will misuse this by opening the account or doing the transactions. So unnecessarily, the person who is giving is became scapegoat. And another situation is there may be some people who are doing small activities that doesn't have except a bank account, that doesn't have anything.
Yes.
So some people will go and meet them. They call as mule accounts.
Okay.
They'll go to them and they'll ask them to give their PAN numbers and authentication, and they'll pay monthly something like that. Or for the time of opening, they'll take all their passwords and everything like that from the actual owner, and he will not know what is happening. The person will do everything.
Okay.
And the first person will be he will receive money only to some extent, whatever the promise. So after some time, what happens? All these transactions will come to the notice of regulatory tax authorities. They will issue notice to the person on whose name the account is opening. The transaction is made. So that is natural. So this is in case of YouTuber also, he was having earning 25,000 per month, but he received notice of 2.5 crores. But before that, we have to know that the person on whom the proceedings are initiated, it is a duty of every government, every income tax department, every income tax authority to take 3 or 4 precautions. First, they'll inform that there are transactions in your account, so and so value, whether you confirm it or not. If he says no, I disagree, the department will go alternative way. Means who is the real person, they will search it. If you say agree, you are liable. If you don't reply, they feel that it is here transaction, but you want to avoid to reply. And they will issue another notice, 140. And then also they will give, see, these are the details in your transaction, what your explanation. If you don't reply, they'll pass show cause notice. Show cause notice also again they will ask if these are the details, what is your objection. Even if you don't pass that, they will pass an order under 44 AD. And then they will say that this is the case, you can take up a notice, 148 notice like that. And that 148 notice also, they will give 30 days time to file the return. Even if you don't file the return, they will again issue a notice, show cause notice, that because based on the information available to us, this is the income escaped according to our records, what you say. If you don't reply, they will pass the ex parte order, stating that all this is income. All this transfers the taxable income and they levy tax. And after passing the order, they will give 30 days time to file an appeal. See, if it is not yours, you say that it is not my transaction. If it is your transaction, you say that it is my transaction. Don't keep silent. If any notice comes, any communication comes, don't be silent. You go to any consultant or advisor or CA or anybody to give reply. If it is yours, accept it. If it is not yours, don't accept it. But silence is treated as evasion. This is the mistake. For that reason, all these transactions are treated as income and tax raised according to the provisions of Income Tax Act.
Right. And what is the final thing you can tell to our viewers, sir? See,
finally, what is happening is you are taking care of your health. by regular checkup, or when there is a problem, when there is a disturbance, or when there is what we call some pain or something like that, you are going to doctor regularly. The same way, you have to take care of your wealth also.
Hmm.
What you are earning is important, and protection is more important.
Yes.
Earning is okay, but protection is more important. And how to protect your wealth? From means you have to take the right advisor for investments, in where to invest, how to invest, when to withdraw, what is the procedure to be followed. You cannot keep 10 crores money in your bank, in your home. If you deposit 1 crore at a time in the bank, they will ask about it, how this 1 crore has come to you. If you deposit 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs, they may not ask. Or even if they ask, it is possible to say that, tell the explanation. See, this is the you know that. So for this reason, you take care of everything. You take care of consultants' advice before doing any large activity, big activity, and any big payment, big transaction, big purchase of property, big salary, big deposit in the bank. Anything above 10 lakhs per annum, cash transactions, take advice. If any amount of transactions about 25 lakhs, through transfers also, you take advice. If you are purchasing and selling a property, you take the advice of documentator, advocate, or anything like that. In the same way, when you are doing any transaction, you take the advice of consultants. Of course, it may be paying fees, something like that, but it will regulate you, it will guide you properly. And don't go to the people who doesn't have full knowledge. Of course, the big people may charge more, but the small people may charge less. It is not the charging, it is not the financial cost, it is the cost of
the final
quality of service. How safe your investment, how safe your money, how safe your transactions, how safe your financial future. This is important. You select the right, when you are going to select the right doctor, you select the right consultant for financial transaction, wealth creation also. And that will protect the wealth creation and its mental peace, and to take up further activities in future also. Expansion business, success of business, profits, everything will come prosper.